And my understanding of this unprecedented change of century is different from that of many people. I'm not completely focused on a century, just a century of change, because we measure the centuries. So how many centuries? Because according to the meaning of the Chinese language, President Xi only emphasized century and did not emphasize how many century it was. So in my opinion, there are at least five levels or five concepts of century changes. So the first is that a great change that has not happened in 500 years. That's the first level. That is since the rise of the West in the age of exploration in the 16th century, Western civilization now has experienced an unprecedented decline in the past 500 years. And the second level is that the great change that has not happened in 400 years, that is the unprecedented great change brought by the AI evolution, seeing the mechanical revolution in the 17th century. Because as we all know, seeing the 17th century, there happened the three scientific and technological revolution, that is mechanization, electrification, and computerization, right? And these three round of technological revolution are all liberating human leaps of five senses. But this time, the AI revolution is liberating our brains. So this huge change is something that humans have never encountered in the past 400 years. And the third level is that the great change that has not happened in 300 years. That is, since the 18th century, the democratic political system established in the West now has entered an unprecedented decline, in my opinion. Democracy is a good thing, of course. Democracy is a good word. But the problem is, democracy once represented advancement, but now the Western, especially in United States, I mean, a U.S. Style democratic political system now is a little bit outdated. So the world need an upgrade and revolutionary of political system. And the fourth level is a great change that has not happened in 200 years. That is, since the 19th century, the academic division system of university established in the West now has encountered a huge crisis. Both of us work in the university. We are very obvious know that nowadays the major division, for example, economics, cannot explain very well economic phenomena, and political science cannot explain political phenomena very well, and sociology cannot explain social phenomena very well, and so on. So I think, in my opinion, the entire social science is facing an unprecedented reshaping of knowledge. And final things, the fifth and the last one is a great change that has not happened in 100 years. That is the international system. Because the international system 100 years ago, the international system centered the North Atlantic as a power center since the early of the 20th century. But now the international system, I mean the power system, the center of power system, transferring to the West Pacific as a center. So I think this is a five level. To put it simply, that is the civilization change that has not happened in 500 years, the technological change that has not happened in 400 years, the institutional change that has not happened in 300 years, and the knowledge change of university that has not happened in 200 years, and the power change that has not happened in 100 years. So this is my systematic understanding of the current complex system. In fact, the United States now is focusing on using technological skill and finance to contain China, which in itself reflects the decline of the United States. Why I talk about it? Because the fact that the US does not dare to use military means or start a war to contain China, that proves the strength of the China security defense. So this is an important reason why I remain confident in this round of trade war. As far as the trade war, I wrote 2 articles with extensive international influence as early as the beginning of this year. One is why the United States cannot win the trade war with China, and the other is thank Trump, make China great again. And the late articles was reprinted by media in nearly 20 countries. And the current progress confirms my judgment, because it has been 7 years since the Trump 1.0 launched the first trade war and technological war against China in 2018. And Trump has lost the last round of trade war and the technology war against China. He neither decoupled China-US trade relationship, none reduced China's surplus with the US, none even defeated Huawei. On the contrary, the total trade value between China and United States remain above $650 billion per year in the past 7 years, higher than in 2018. And China's surplus with the United States remain at around $400 billion, also higher than in 2018. And Huawei now is much stronger than it was in 2018. So that proves that Trump was defeated in the past 7 years. And this term, China came to power again in this year, and the trade war and technology war against China was more intense. But this old approach was definitely failed. The most important reason lies in China's strong manufacturing industry. At present, China's industrial output value is twice that of the United States, accounting for 30% of the world industrial output value. About half of the products imported by the United States from China cannot find better alternatives. From this point, the US needs China products more, not China needs the American market more. So that's why I think we have the full confidence on this trade war. But of course, I admit that the trade war definitely put external pressure on China. But the Chinese are very united now. We will never give up, because China has many ways to solve the export problem. On the one hand, China is looking for more international markets, such as ASEAN, Latin America, Africa, the Middle East, Russia, Central Asia, etc. And on the other hand, as you may know, China is increasing the stimulation of domestic consumption. I can do a math for you. Now the average Chinese saving per capita is 110,000 yuan, equal to 14,000 US dollars. You know, every Chinese people, their savings. China annual exports to the United States are about how much? Let me think. China's annual exports to the United States are about maybe 500 billion US dollars, 500 billion. So this means that if the 1.4 billion Chinese people spend an extra 350 US dollars per capita, they can fully absorb the product produced in the United States. From this point, China is very resilient, and the Chinese are very united in this trade war. And in the contrast, the external contradiction of the U.S. are huge, and the political struggle is very firm in the United States. So therefore, my conclusion will not change. The U.S. will definitely lose the trade war again, and the future, I think, will definitely prove my judgment. Yeah.